Welcome back to another episode of Books and Beers. I'm your host, Falc. So before I start filming today, I realized this is episode number 10, which means that we've been doing this for over 10 weeks now. It definitely takes a lot of time for Barney and myself to create the videos that we create for you guys, as well as creating content on our Instagram and all the things that we do. But it's something that we really enjoy. So we're super happy that we started it, and we're definitely gonna keep going. More importantly, this is episode number 2 of Movember. During the month of November, we're going to be focusing on money and reviewing books that have to do with money. Last week, we had Barney's review about I Will Teach You to Be Rich, a book that looks really good, and I actually have it myself that I haven't read yet. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. That book had to do with personal finance, so about investing, saving, and things like that. This week, we're getting a little more macro, and we're going to be reviewing Naked Economics by Charles Wheelan. If you grab any economics books and you kind of flip through the pages, you're going to see a lot of graphs and also a lot of calculus and mathematics probably. Charles Wheelan, the author of the book, says that that's specifically what he doesn't want to do with this book. He wants to stay away from graphs and he wants to stay away from the math and all the boring things that you might have seen in your economic class. And he does an amazing job at that. That's one of the reasons why this book is so good and why I like it so much. I am a huge economics nerd. I love economics. It was what I studied in college. I was an economics major. And to this day, I wish I would have read this book before because it would have given me an insight that even through the tens of credits that I took about economics, I didn't get. Having that premise of being interesting and not complex with every single economic topic possible, he gets very raw in a few of the topics. He, for example, doesn't mind saying that smokers pose an economic benefit for non-smokers because they might die sooner and give social security to other people. Or how mandating more maternity leave can be bad for women because it can make employers discriminate against hiring them since they're most costly. And that's what I like about the book is that he makes it interesting for every single economic topic possible. I'm not gonna name them because there are way too many, but I'm gonna put a few of them. Nonetheless, there's 3 topics that I found super interesting that I want to share with you guys. The first part is a chapter where he talks about financial markets. He explains a lot based on other books and how financial markets come into our everyday lives. But what I like are the really specific stories that he tells. In this case, he talks about Starbucks. And he says that even though he doesn't know that much about Starbucks and the way they handle their enterprise, he can guarantee that they have a department that trades options. So options are a security that gives you the right of buying something at a specific price. So if you're trading, for example, coffee, which is a commodity, you're dependent on maybe a big climate change that might raise or lower the price of coffee. He says that a very good cup of coffee, people might be willing to pay $3. But if something happens in the world and there's a shortage of coffee, people won't be willing to pay $6 or $7. So he guarantees that there has to be a department within Starbucks that dedicates themselves to just trading options on coffee, so they can guarantee and basically have an insurance on cheaper coffee for their products. Number 2 is politics. Now, the author of the book is a professor at Dartmouth, but he ran first in a small position within his neighborhood, and then he actually had the opportunity of running for the House of Representatives, a position that he ended up losing. But besides that story that he tells very openly, and he mentions how he lost and what were the reasons that he lost, he talks about the inefficiencies that exist in politics, something that made me super interesting. This book showed me that even though politicians might get a bad rap for not doing X, Y, or Z, there are just a lot of inefficiencies going on in that spectrum. And the third one, he talks about trade, and he talks about globalization. This is a super interesting topic, because in the 2016 election, it was one of the big topics that was discussed among the candidates. To show his point about how globalization is a benefit, and I won't get into the details, but he talks about sweatshops, companies that leave the United States and go somewhere else, development in third world countries. But specific to globalization, he gives the story about Lincoln, how he had to buy more steel for the railroads in the United States. When people suggested that Lincoln will go and buy steel from Britain, he said, why am I gonna go and buy steel from Britain when I'm gonna get the steel and they're gonna get the money? Different than if someone makes the steel here in the United States and I buy it from them, we're gonna keep the money and the steel. And that's actually a great point. And me being a person that had just graduated from studying a few years of economics, I actually didn't know the answer by the time that I read it. But that's where he introduces the idea of specialization. He explains that by Lincoln's rationale, we shouldn't go to the supermarket and just buy meat. We should get a cow, raise it, spend a few years, and then slaughter the cow, and then eat the meat. The issue was that we lost so much time raising a cow when we could be doing something more productive. And this is the concept of specialization, which is something that is so important in economics. The ability that he has of creating such hard concepts into, maybe not hard, but maybe complex, and something that we get lost when we see all these debates and we read all these political articles and stuff like that, into something so simple, is what makes this book so interesting. In the topic of trade, Mexico is the US's third biggest trading partner. So today I'm gonna be reviewing a Mexican beer. Chihuahua Cerveza. So let's give it a try. A little less see-through than Barney's beer last week. It smells good. Let's give it a try. I like it. It's soft and it has I feel like it has an extra ingredient. Let me check. It does not have an extra ingredient, at least not in the can. Falc, you don't know anything about beers. Shut the hell up. But if it does, I'm gonna search it up and put it right here. I like it. 3.8, good beer to have on the beach, very cold, maybe have more than one because it's light. Doesn't have that much flavor, but that's something that I like. I like simple beers like this one, so 3.8. And as far as the book, I do not rank this as a must-read because we've had a lot of must-reads in this channel, and maybe not everyone likes economics. But if you're someone that likes the topic, or you just want to get a little more knowledge before watching those very long debates, this is a must-read. My official scoring is a 4.6. The book is that good. I was preparing the things I was gonna say for this video, and I realized that this is a book that I want to read again. Even for me, that had just finished college studying economics, I literally have a degree that says economics, I found so many interesting things in this book. I heavily recommend it. The author also has two other books, Naked Money and Naked Statistics. I actually might read those in the future. This is a very cheap book. It is less than $15, so if you want to get it yourself, go ahead and check out the link in the description. And also be sure that you follow us on Instagram. We have some amazing content there. We post updates about new books, about the books that we're reading, about the videos that we're releasing, about the beers that we're drinking, and amazing other stuff. Be sure that you subscribe because we have videos every single Wednesday, especially now in November that we have Movember going on, and we're reviewing some great books. Thank you so much for watching Books and Beers, and I'll see you next time. Prueba.